Hello and welcome to another episode of the Anime Lounge Short Flights. I'm your host Lance here to talk about the first episode of Metallic Rouge. And I gotta say, right up front, I am very impressed with everything so far. We're on Mars, not on Earth, not on some other random isekai, so that's fun. We're talking about humans and androids, and they didn't say per se that it was robots or androids, but I'll go into some really good detail on why I think that's the case. Whether you figure that out or not, I'll say it all anyway. And the animation is beautiful. The characters are definitely interesting, and there's action to look forward to. So all in all, very pleased, and I cannot wait to talk about the series and straight up just continue watching it. So let's get into this. So we got our main character. Her name is Rouge. She is the Red Gladiator. Not to be confused with the imposter Red Gladiator that came in during that Sarah in that part where they're talking about Sarah and they're shooting at the Red Gladiator. That was actually the Joker. I'm going to call him the Joker because he had the Joker cards. His name was actually Jaren Fate, but we'll get back into him in a minute. So Rouge, she's working with this other girl, Naomi, and she's the one that's been talking through the bird, and she's a human that's been calling some shots out in the distance, and they're working together to try to figure out if Sarah is one of these androids because they figure that she's got to have some of these she's got to be doing something about something. They got to figure out where her ports are, and they were talking about ports because that's where this nectar goes in. Nectar is the drug that everybody needs on this planet, that it seems, because we saw some people die without it, and they're always everyone just needs it. And the problem is that Sarah, the singer, was her port was hidden, and everyone else is semi noticeable. But we found out if you look closely enough, her part of her skin popped off, and then her port was visible through that. Why she did it outside, I have no idea. That's just some anime logic, just to whatever. If you're gonna be so secretive about your port location, just do your nectar injections in secrecy. Whatever. That didn't need to get caught. Um, so that's really interesting. Um, so that's kind of where everything is going with the storyline. Now let's talk about why I know that these are androids more specifically. And though there's lots of one-liners, there's a few instances where they talk some random stuff, and the ports is really one of the biggest early parts that they figure some stuff out. Uh, when they're in the locker room and that guy and that girl are talking because that guy lost his, they got stolen by like two other workers, and they were talking about how if I don't get this, I will go defective and I'll get thrown out. Now, the term thrown out doesn't mean that they'll get fired and then replaced. It means that they'll defect, be broken, and they'll die and they'll just get thrown away literally. So that was pretty interesting. Another huge moment is when Rouge and Naomi are talking in person at like that restaurant, and it, this was the weirdest part for me, but it was when Naomi was sitting there slurping away at her noodles, and Rouge was trying to talk to her. And on three separate times, right, all back to back, Rouge was saying, "I had no idea there was an actual person look talking through the bird." And she says another time, no response. She does says it another time, no response. And Naomi responds with, "Oh my god, did you have a memory malfunction?" And I thought that myself because like, holy crap, am I having a stroke? Why did I hear the same thing three goddamn times? It threw me off so bad. So that was one other moment that, a memory malfunction, robot. And then shortly after that, they're talking about if she still feels self-aware, which is another big robot kind of thing. It's AI. So something we're dealing with even now. And then one other thing I caught was that they had mentioned the Asimov program. Now, if you guys know anything about books or pop culture of, I guess, androids and robots in general with movies like I Robot, Isaac Asimov made a very popular rule. There's actually three rules that go all hand in hand with each other, and that was one, don't do any harm to humans. Two, obey all humans as long as you don't violate the first rule. And three, protect its own existence as long as you don't violate the other two rules. And that's just how robots got to work because it makes sense and humans are more important than robots. So I like that they had mentioned that there was an Asimov program. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Um, so there's all that. I think that's plenty of information to prove that these are androids. Now, let's talk about another character, this Joker guy. His name is Jaren Fate, and he was the one in the yellow suit imitating the Red Gladiator. And I think the purpose of him imitating the Red Gladiator to try to scare Sarah was to pull out the actual Red Gladiator, who is Rouge, out of some kind of hiding and to force finding out who this person really is because Red Gladiator is obviously going to be hindering some nefarious plot or something like that that they're working on. So he's going to be an interesting character, and I can't wait to find out more about him because he seems mysterious. He seems strong at some point. He can imitate people, so that's already going to be scary. So I'm very interested in him. Now, this kind of leaves us at the final battle with Rouge and Sarah. Sarah was the purple suit. Her name was Purgatory Viole, which I thought was pretty interesting. And she's a member of the Immortal Nine. And then I think that's just going to be a group that we're going to have to target and pay attention to. I think they're going to be the bad guys of the season. So I can't wait to see more of that. So the point is, they were fighting, awesome battle, fire was being blasted. They have these laser swords. These arms are whipping around at fast speeds. These are obviously attachments. A lot of cool stuff going on. But ultimately, our main character, Rouge, gets the upper hand, wins. And we saw at the end that she's holding this orb. And I'm wondering if this orb gives these robots, these androids, the ability to transform and take on that additional suit of armor. And I would like some more information on that. I would like more information about everything. I mean, this is so much information to drop in this very first episode, and I'm so pleased with everything. I can't wait to find out more. All right, so that's a lot of information I threw at you guys. I need to stop it there. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys thought. Let me know if you picked up any more information that I missed. And yeah, I'll just catch you guys next week.